It's league winter time. It's time to get down to the nitty gritty. It's time to try and find ways to absolutely level up on your opponents. And the only way most of you can, some of you can trade, and we can talk about that. We always have open phone lines pretty much every show at some point. You can super chat any question you want. I can answer whatever question you throw at me. However, we are specifically right now at least talking about things that some of you can control in terms of players to add. And Guerendo, as your waivers process tonight, most every single one of you, this man better not be left off your list because he is a league winner. His name is Isaac Guerendo. Guerendonites, unite.
Well, no going back now. You sure you want to do this, Kyle? Yeah, we have to. Let's go. Start the procedure.
Yeah, John, look at that. Yeah, that looks great, Kyle. Look at him.
Guerendonites, unite!
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios.
It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live!
Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
From the FantasyFootballShow.com news desk, here is your breaking news.
So, we've talked about this already throughout the week. This is not a brand new topic by any means. Christian McCaffrey on IR, Jordan Mason on IR. That means Isaac Guerendo's season is in full effect. When Shanahan was asked in a press conference, why aren't you using Mason more, trying to ask him why he's not being more careful with his RBs or what's he doing with Christian McCaffrey, and this was a little while back, his answer was, especially when we're talking about how, Christian McCaffrey, doesn't get any sort of rest or whatever. He ended up saying something like, we just don't use two backs. I don't use two backs. We usually let one back get into a, rhythm, and that's the way he operates. So I don't think there's any sort of variation here that we're going to see a variant of Shanahan's running back decision-making come out of this situation. I think it is going to be Isaac Guerendo's season. We're going to see a ton of Isaac Guerendo. And my boy C-Mac is in the building, and I sent him and Raj and Vlad a message right before I went live, and I just said, just want to get a number from you. What do you think the percentage is? C-Mac, if you want to drop what you said to me, C-Mac's in the building. C-Mac, drop your number if you're still watching. I said, how many touches percentage-wise, 70%, 80%, will Guerendo get of the workload in San Francisco moving forward? And his response was, C-Mac, if you're there, drop it. If not, I'll definitely tell him what you said. I can even grab. He said 99% laughing emoji. Here it is. Kyle found 99%. Kyle found a new young man to run into the ground, is what C-Max told me. And I believe this to be true.
Max 49er fire 99%. Kyle found a new young man to run to the ground, face with tears of joy.
Tears of joy. That is what's described. Tears of joy, C-Mac, because Guerendo is going to win leagues and he's going to cook.
Let him cook.
You sure you want to do this, Kyle? Yeah, we have to. Let's go. Start the procedure.
Yeah, John, look at that. Yeah, that looks great, Kyle. Look at him. Look at him.
Guerendonites, unite!
I'll try and lower that that volume of his Guerendonites Unite. It's kind of popping. But yeah, I mean, look, this is not new conversation, but this is kind of reiteration time. You know, because waivers are processing. I want to make sure that everybody's sitting there on their waiver wire saying, I need to grab Isaac Guerendo. I need to also grab Braelon Allen. Why am I talking about Braelon Allen? Because there's nothing being reported on Breece Hall's knee injury at all right now. Nothing. There's nothing out there. Breece Hall retweaked his knee. There's video footage of him limping off the field, walking down the sideline, that his knee was bothering him, and he was limping. He was limping very bad. To me, I feel like we're going to hear something very similar to out of nowhere, like the Mason is out for the season. That came out of nowhere. And we all know that Kyle doesn't want to pay top dollar for Jordan Mason if he goes out and explodes the final few weeks of the season, right? That's why Kyle's doing that in some ways. I'm sure C-Mac can agree. He's a restricted free agent. So that means that if Mason was to come in and do what Mason was doing at the beginning of the year, here at the end of the year, then a team would most likely try and go after him, and then the Niners would have to match that offer. If you put him on IR, he's kind of, he's whatever. We don't remember. What did he do again in the beginning of the year? All I remember is Guerendo going nuts. Guerendo's under contract. He's a rookie. No one can take him. So that's what I believe is at the core of what is happening long-term for Mason. Mason probably has an injured ankle, I'm sure, but is it worth sitting out the entire season? So we've got now Guerendo in a position, prime position, to be tested out. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we need. Let's see if somebody does come and offer top dollar for Jordan Mason. Let's see what this new toy, like C-Mac said, can do. And they're going to stress test him and give him the ball. He's a 4.3 player. That his 40 is 4.3. His quickness is unmatched in this backfield. I think he's the strongest. Mason's probably a stronger runner, but Guerendo's more explosive. Guerendo's got, I think, a lot more ability to potentially pop a big run than Mason. Mason can grind it out a little bit more, but Guerendo could have those big, huge, like Breece Hall touchdowns. As we jump back into the Breece Hall conversation, there's no news. There's no news whatsoever on Breece Hall playing or not playing or being better, looking more worse for the wear coming out of this contest. We saw him get kind of banged up in the game. He went to the sideline. He was limping, and no one's talked about it since. I have a very, very bad feeling that he won't finish the year. Now, if he comes back and plays next week, I'm still on this train of going and getting Braelon Allen to the same aggressiveness and passion that I'm telling you or was telling you to get Guerendo and Mason and cuff them together. If anybody drops them because McCaffrey's back, you grab them, you hold them. Part 2 of the win a league cuffing situation behind Christian McCaffrey would eventually reveal itself, and it certainly did. We're now staring at what we just predicted to happen right in the face, and I have a feeling it's not a guarantee. Maybe Breece Hall comes back and is like, yeah, he tweaked it, but he's fine, and he plays the rest of the season. It's certainly possible, but it doesn't seem likely. Out of all the things we see with teams that are losing, franchise running back has a knee injury, there's a really strong shot he gets shut down. Or he misses big games, or misses the last 2 games. Even if it's not next week, even if it's not the next week, maybe he plays 2 more weeks, he still could miss games. C-Mac, and if anybody doesn't know who C-Mac is, go follow him on Instagram. C-Mac, Raj from RSF 49ers, and Vlad, we all go live on the Quad Box on Instagram a lot. We haven't done a lot of the four of us lately. We need to do that. But C-Mac, big Niner fan. Him and Raj, probably the biggest Niner fans I know. They're the guys I talk to whenever I say, those guys told me that he's going to get X number of percentage of carries. I go to these guys and ask them because they are the boots on the ground, if you will. Guerendo should have been getting touches all year, says C-Mac. I almost called you Christian McCaffrey. Thank you, C-Mac. Yeah, he's exciting. He's an exciting kid. He's elusive. He's quick. He's got good pop. This guy's going to have probably at least one 50-plus yard touchdown, at least one in the next, handful of games. We got week 14, 15, 16, 17. We got 4 weeks of football left. He'll have at least one 50-yard touchdown, maybe two 40-yard touchdowns in that time. I think he is the kind of guy that's going to confuse the waters walking into 2025. He could have such a good year that everybody's like, let Mason go. Even after what Mason did, people will forget. People's memories are foggy. And this is also what Shanahan wants. He wants to probably know if he has what he needs, if in fact Mason gets an offer that's too great to accept, to match, because Mason's a restricted free agent. Restricted. They have to match an offer if somebody does bring it. And this is, Kyle is good at producing running back numbers. That's something he does time and time again. His system, his scheme, everything goes through the running back. I think obviously, we've seen the whole thing just not be fine-tuned at all, this offense, since Christian McCaffrey came back. It was almost better when Mason was just in there producing, being productive. You bring Christian McCaffrey back, who looked pretty quick when he was running routes or he's in the flat and he got momentum, like from, let's say he caught a ball in the flat and he started to run and got momentum. He did get up to good speed. He looked quick there, but he had no explosion. And the reason he had no explosion is because your Achilles tendon is very much responsible for exploding. And when you have Achilles tendon issues, you can't explode just off that alone. Second of all, he's got what's going to always follow him is potential calf injury issues. His whole body's weakened from the knee down is weakened. And even the knee injury, everything is because this guy's body has been put through the ringer. He's the highest percentage of his offense year over year, no matter if he was in Carolina or if he was in San Francisco. And he put mileage on that no one else has ever really probably put on. If I had to dig into the numbers, I guarantee you he's probably in the top 5 for running backs, maybe in the last decade or more, maybe even number 1 overall in the last decade in terms of being the highest percentage of his team's offense. And those Achilles tendon issues and injuries, when somebody blows their Achilles tendon, they're never a top 10 running back. There's never been in the history of the NFL a top 10 running back producer on a season that has torn an Achilles tendon. Not an ACL. It's a completely different injury. Your Achilles tendon on the back of your heel, the tendon that feels like a cord. If you reach down and touch near above your heel and below your calf, it turns into your calf muscle. No one has ever torn the Achilles tendon and become or return to top 10 running back form, even years later. Deontay Foreman is the most successful, and J.K. Dobbins, the most successful Achilles tendon recoveries we've ever seen, and J.K. Dobbins isn't here to watch the remainder of the season. Why do you think that is? Because it is a devastating injury that leads to lots of compensation injuries, and you're never going to be healthy enough. And even though Christian McCaffrey didn't tear his Achilles tendon, he has Achilles tendon issues that will lead to a tear if he continued. He would eventually tear something in that region, whether he tears the Achilles tendon or he tears his calf. Calf injuries are a big result of weakened Achilles tendons, which is why you always tend to see a calf injury as a warning sign. Aaron Rodgers wearing a sleeve. Oh my God, why is he wearing a sleeve? Calf issue, torn Achilles tendon. So we also have to talk about whether Guerendo is going to be the starter eventually in San Francisco. Won't be the starter next year unless Christian McCaffrey's not ready or has issues coming back and somehow magically retires. But this will be a player that's in position. Think Mason, took Mason some time. He's in a position where he could potentially get into the Niners starting role eventually within a year or two. Maybe not. It's hard to really know. Shanahan is tough to predict with that. But there's a lot of dynasty intrigue with Isaac Guerendo. There's also a lot of dynasty intrigue with Braelon Allen, who I believe at some point will relieve Breece Hall. I hope not. I really hope not. I won't be here celebrating when it happens. We'll be excited for the Braelon Allen shares that it helps, people win leagues, but we won't be excited that Breece Hall won't be finishing the year if that is the case. I have no information on this. There's no one reporting anything on it. Breece Hall retweaked his knee, and there's nothing. And usually no news isn't great news, but it doesn't guarantee us anything. This is really a wait-and-see situation. Let's open the phone lines.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Phone lines are open. We don't have a whole lot of news. You know who is a league winner, says OG White Rice? Chase Brown? We do need a Chase Brown video, too. We need a Chase Brown video. I need a Bucky video. I will get on those. Ron wanted me to make a Kirk Cousins video, but I don't know if he'll want me to make that anymore. Kirk Cousins looks so bad right now. They got to get Penix Jr. in there. Alex, you're live. What can I do for you?
So I tried to send Guerendo off waivers. I think I'll probably get him. So next week, if I do get him, do you think he should start over Walker?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yes?
Oh, yeah. Over Walker.
Walker and Harrison.
Yeah. I think Guerendo is a top 10 running back numbers, bro.
Yeah. So?
Yeah. I mean, let's reassess it. If let's say there's different, verbiage coming out of San Francisco, like we're gonna use a committee. Like we're not gonna hear that, but then we'll reassess. But right now, Guerendo is the guy.
Yeah.
I mean, think what Jordan Mason was doing. He was number 1 in carries. He was number 1 in yards. He was number 1 in, I think, average as well. And then he got hurt, and then people start. You know what's so weird is there's tons of people that like take the stats from right now, and they sort them, and they're like Mason's only running back 20. It's like, what are you doing? Like, we're not talking about when Mason hasn't been playing. You don't add those stats into the like. It's so weird, but more than one person's doing it. It's like 10, 15 people in the last 2-3 days have been in comments saying Jordan Mason didn't even play that good. He wasn't a league winner. He was number 1 in the league in yards and in attempts. He was going crazy. What are people remembering? So Guerendo's going to be producing. I really think I can't guarantee anything, bro. I don't know. Shanahan's the hardest person to predict for me. Like I can predict things to a point, and then I get to like this imaginary line where I'm like, this is where Shanahan does things that I don't always know what he's going to do. So like, that's why I have some sort of caution. If people are expecting, the number 1 running back in the league, I can't guarantee that. I just know Guerendo is exciting. And for the most part, this offense can get things, I think, back on track a little bit. They're missing a lot of people. The Trent Williams, it's hard to say, but I do believe Guerendo's. If this offensive line's lacking a little bit, Guerendo's the right man for the job because he has 4.3 speed, and if the hole's going to close quicker, he's going to get through it quicker. If they need to pop more runs to the outside and they need a quicker, speedier back for that, Guerendo's the guy for that. I think it'll work out very, very well.
Yeah, the 49ers backfield under Shanahan is always good. They're also always hurt for some reason, like Jeff Wilson, Raheem Mostert, Eli Mitchell. Like, they've all been hurt. Like, every year, they're always hurt. It's really strange.
Yeah, and Guerendo will probably get hurt at the last game. It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
All right, later, Alex.
And really
later.
quick, you think ETN's worth dropping for Guerendo?
Who?
Or should I go with ETN? Or should I go with Pitts? Because I picked up John Smith a few weeks ago.
I get Pitts or who? Who are you dropping?
ETN.
I don't know. Can you drop your kicker and then just wait as long as you can?
Kicker? Well, man, I have Boswell. I kind of really want to keep him. He's been getting.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess just flip a coin. I don't know. That's chat. Who would you drop if you had Jonnu Smith, and would you just drop Kyle Pitts right now? All right, later, Alex. Let the chat decide. Drop Kyle Pitts or ETN. All right, later. 408. What is your name? 408, and where are you calling from?
What's up, Smitty? This is James from the Bay.
James from the Bay. What's up, James?
Not much, dude. I got a stat here for Guerendo.
Okay.
That's pretty cool for the listeners.
All right,
Green Bay Packers posted on their Twitter 8 months ago, like right around the draft or the combine, and they said there's only 5 running backs in NFL combine history to run a 4.4 40 or below, weigh 215 pounds plus, and have a burst score over 120, and those are Saquon, Jonathan Taylor, Breece Hall, and Adrian Peterson, and Isaac Guerendo.
Let him cook.
That's what we like to hear. That's what we like to hear, my guy.
Legendary.
Legendary.
I got a first pick on the waivers. I'm swooping Guerendo and gonna take it home.
Take it home. You know what you need to do with it? What kind of drop you gonna put?
I don't need a fab. We don't have a fab in my league.
If you did have fab, what kind of drop would you drop on it?
100% fab.
Full load.
The load.
Initiate full load drop.
Drop the load. If anybody has Guerendo sitting there, drop the load. What are you waiting for? There's nothing left. There's nothing left. This is a league winner. This is Bucky Irving potential for you. You gotta drop it. You gotta do the full load drop. It's these are two of the 10 out of 10 for being the best pickup. We have this scale here, odds of being the best pickup of the year, and on this particular board here, we have 2 players that range at 10, and that is Irving and Guerendo, and they've been absolute monsters. And Mason was here too as well. So like Mason and Guerendo, this is why it's part 2. We're back for part 2. It's crazy. I even said that for weeks. Like, this is part 2. People are just oblivious to part 2's coming. Like the Mason situation. Like, does anybody think it's not going to get rejuvenated? Now I agree. I thought we'd see Mason a little bit first, and then maybe he'd break down. But if you remember back, that's why we say Guerendo and Mason together. They'll always, if you think back to before Mason got injured, what was I saying about it? That Mason hasn't had this kind of workload since high school. So Mason could break down very quickly. We need to be careful of that. We need to always cuff and be ready to make sure we can swap those guys out. So, man, Guerendo's it's gonna win leagues.
With Guerendo in college, though, he was playing behind heavy hitters at Louisville, so he didn't get as much work either.
Yeah, so
until his senior year. Yeah, but I my prediction, because I'm a Niner fan, my prediction next year is potentially we'll trade away Mason, and then maybe the Niners switch to a more of like Lions-style backfield where it's CMC and
maybe, but Shanahan does not like that. He even said that in his press conference the other day. He's like, we don't run 2 running backs. And
obviously is not working.
Well, yeah, but he's somebody that adapts. Not really. He just does his thing. But we'll see. It's possible. It really should be the case. That's what fans want. Fans have been wanting Guerendo or Mason or both being used to, especially when CMC came back, ease him in. Like if they eased him in, if he wasn't out there 100% of the time, maybe he wouldn't have got banged up. Maybe he would have had a little bit more rest. Maybe he wouldn't have been tripped up on that play, and he would have. Like, if you had broken that play free, then he would have been in the end zone, and then everything would have been, absolutely fabulous for Christian McCaffrey owners. But yeah, I don't know. The thing about it, the way I look at it, I think for next year, bro, is that I don't think Christian McCaffrey is. I don't think he's going to be the same player at all.
I agree.
And so I think that this sharing situation will be there potentially because they have to. Like they got to keep McCaffrey involved, but they can't give him all the work. So what you're suggesting might end up being the case. I just don't know. I don't know if McCaffrey's going to end up like getting hurt at some point, like really early on. That's kind of my feeling. And then Guerendo gets the job to himself, and or Mason, whoever's there. The thing about Mason, and you know this, your Niners are a little bit dirty in terms of how they treat players with bonus or with incentives and things like that, and pulling players. And Mason, one of the main reasons I think Mason went on IR so that you guys don't have to match a higher offer if someone does come in because he's a restricted free agent. So
well, that's what I was going to ask you. How hurt is Mason?
We don't know. I don't think he's so hurt. His ankle's so hurt. They're like, God, put him on. Like Christian McCaffrey tore his PCL. They're like, okay, let's put him on IR. Mason sprains his ankle. Put him on IR. Like, kids, come on. How are they in the same exact bucket? It's because
we got to pay Purdy next year, bro.
Yeah, but hopefully someone does come and take Mason away, and then they just let Guerendo play, because I don't like having Guerendo held hostage. Let's see what he can do. All right, got to go, bro. Appreciate you.
All right, bro. Appreciate you.
All right, later. Let's go over to Kevin. You're live.
Hey, what's going on, Smitty? Jace Brown!
Jace Brown? What's up, my boy?
Not too much. So I just wanted to check in. So with the Breece Hall situation, for example, like I've got a team that's like locked in the playoffs. I got Breece Hall as one of my starting running backs with Braelon on the bench. And my running back room is set. So in that scenario, like, would you be trying to create room to add a Guerendo, or worst case scenario, roll through the playoffs with the Breece Braelon cuff?
I mean, why not all? Can I say all? Like, I mean, no, I'm serious.
Try to get Guerendo as well.
Yeah, I mean, can't you just can't you have Breece and Allen? But I mean, like, here's the thing. This is probably the most uncomfortable conversation that we could have right now. Is there a world where Guerendo's just better than Breece Hall and Braelon Allen? And the answer right now might be yes. Because we're not even seeing Breece Hall produce like he should because the Jets' offense is bad. I think if Hall went down, they'd have to change and run heavy, and then you'd see Braelon Allen, produce. But I don't know. I think if push came to shove, I might have to put Guerendo in my lineup over Hall and Braelon Allen, having that combo. So to answer your question, Guerendo has to be a part of this conversation if you can make him a part of your team. You don't even hesitate. Not to mention, if he's available, you take him defensively, like, so the other owners can't get him. Otherwise, you're facing Guerendo in the playoffs.
Right. Like, I'm last in waivers, so there's no guarantee that I can get him. So I'll put in a claim for him.
Yeah, you're not going to get him. Try, though. You never know. Sometimes everybody's asleep at this point. It's weird.
Yeah. That's mainly, like, what I wanted to address. But, yeah, I'll keep that Breece Braelon cup as, like, a worst-case scenario.
Yeah.
Try to go for Guerendo. But, yeah, that's how I wanted to
all right, bro.
Like,
yeah.
Thanks, Smitty.
All right, later.
Cheers, Brown.
Cheers, Brown. Briz, is that how you say your name, Briz?
Yeah.
Briz.
What's up, Smitty?
What's up, Briz from Orange County? What can I do for you?
First off, glad you're feeling better.
Thank you, pal.
Made playoffs in 4 out of 5 leagues already, but I'm a little worried about one, and it's my wide receivers. I got Jackson Smith and Jigba and Garrett Wilson as my top 2. Only guy on my bench is Jordan Addison. How you feeling about Wilson going into playoffs?
Garrett Wilson?
Yep.
I mean, not great, but is Garrett Wilson, somebody you bench in your situation? No, you just hope that he has one of those weird, final stretches where he's kind of dominates at the end of the year and for nothing, like Breece Hall did last year. So we know it's possible, but like you can't be picky when you're dealing with that light of a wide receiver crew. So, I mean, it's not ideal. I don't love having a player on a team that's losing, because what if Garrett Wilson, again, I don't think Garrett Wilson's the kind of guy that's going to be like, oh, I'm a diva like Lamb would be. And I don't even mean this like, I understand why Lamb would do it. I understand why an Adams would do it, because he's older and he's protecting his body. And I'm not even trying to rip on the business side of it, but I don't think Garrett Wilson is the type that would say, oh, I'm going to sit out now just to protect my body. But if he ends up having a hamstring, a knee, or some issue, and there's 2 games left and they're meaningless, I would sit out and he would sit out. So whereas like if he's banged up but there's a lot to play for, and he's not going to necessarily probably damage it anymore, it's just a pain tolerance thing, he's playing. So it's a big difference. And so I don't ever love having and holding players that are on bad teams. I think next year there's going to be a little bit of a factor, a consideration scale that we'll pull out or do something. I'll create some sort of map, kind of like the risk map, and figure out like, here's the risk map for a rest of season, something along the lines like this, where we say to ourselves, like, what is the risk level of this player because he plays on a team that might not be in it at the end of the season, which could cause some more concerns. Like, I think next year there's got to be some consideration for that when we start talking about players.
Yeah. He was the first pick, and everybody was a dud first pick, except maybe Jefferson this year. So
yeah.
Just to name a couple of people I could pick up: Keon Coleman, Roma Dunze, Xavier Worthy, Christian Watson, Quentin Johnson, or Elijah Moore. Do you like any of them over Wilson, or do you just got to roll with
over Garrett Wilson? No, bro. You can't. You're way overthinking this thing. You need to stick your head in an ice bath real quick. All right. Later, bro.
Later, Smitty.
You guys got to stop overthinking these things to that degree. That's, you got to start your studs if you have them, and you can't go backwards. And let's see here. 937. What's your name and where are you calling from? Okay, call back if you want to jump in. You might have been on mute or something. Does Smitty do news anymore? What do you mean do I do news anymore? I do news. You got constantly breaking news on this show. I go live when news breaks, Quinn. What in the hell's wrong with...
Take a big lap. We don't need your hating ass coming back now. Take a big lap. Take one and you don't come back.
I know I don't want you to not come back, Quinn, but what in the hell are you talking about, bro? There's really no news today. The news is just a continuation of Guerendo. 937 caller, what is your name and where are you calling from?
Smitty, it's Jesse from Michigan.
What's up, Jesse? What can I do for you?
All right, so I got 2 quick questions for you, man. So I'm just trying to squeak into the playoffs right now. I'm 6 and 7, PPR league, 8-man, so a little short. But I'm trying to pick up either Judy or Jacoby Myers off the waiver. What do you think is the best bet to go with for a flex spot for me?
For out of which players? Read them again.
Jerry Judy and Jacoby Myers.
What would make you think Judy isn't a smash over Jacoby? Not saying Jacoby's trash, but like, Judy just had 200 and what was it, 40 yards and a touchdown, and he's been doing very similar things in the hundreds of yards for weeks now.
I know, that's a fair point.
I mean, this isn't even. I mean, that's like saying, Smitty, what's better, a $100 bill or a $20 bill?
I got you. I got you.
You know
Are
what I'm
you
saying?
flexing him over players like Tyreek and DK at this point with how they've been performing?
You kind of got to. Judy's playing that good, bro.
I know. Okay.
He's that good. He's in that conversation, no doubt about it. All right.
I got one last question for you, if that's okay. Quick.
Yeah.
Are you dropping Pacheco, Tracy, or Dell or Ott or any of those guys for Guerendo off the waiver wire?
Oh, jeez, bro. Come on. What are we doing? What are we doing here, man? What are we doing? This is for your own good. It's for your...
Finish him. Call terminated.
Oh, my God. I feel like this guy wouldn't find a pot of gold if it was sitting right in his front lawn. If there was a pot of gold sitting right in his front lawn, he wouldn't see it. He wouldn't see it. What do you think I'm going to say? Guerendo set to produce top 10 running back numbers.
Well, no going back now. You sure you want to do this, Kyle? Yeah. We have to. Let's go. Start the procedure.
Yeah, John, look at that. Yeah, that looks great, Kyle. Look at him. Look at him.
Guerendonites, unite!
Good Lord. Good Lord. Rag, appreciate your super chat. Need to close my IR spots. Need to drop 2. Worthy, Coleman, Jameson, Addison. You're not dropping Jameson or Addison, bro. You got to drop Coleman and Worthy. You keep both those other wide receivers. All have about the same point. No, the Addison and J-Mo are light years ahead. Nice job, Rag. Great job. Great job, pal. Let's see here. Which handcuff would you drop for Guerendo? Right or Algier? Probably right, because his offense is just I don't think it's built for 2 running backs right now. So you are waiting on an injury. Even if an injury happened, I still don't know. I think I'd rather have Algier and just cuff that top running back you have. I don't know. It's tough to say. I definitely would take Guerendo, but I'd probably drop Wright. Wright could be a late season, riser as well, though. So monitor that. He's definitely somebody in the last 2 or 3 weeks I could see getting a lot of runs somehow. But monitor him. But I would definitely probably keep Algier right now. So yeah, I had first waiver claim. Nice job. Way to save it if you were saving it. Is Ingram droppable if I have Hawkinson? I mean, I guess, sure. Especially with Trevor Lawrence down now, it definitely feels like he's going to be a little bit hit in the production department. So I don't hate that if that's a move you have to make. Definitely. Darnold or Herb? Herb this week, probably, my boy. If Brees is shut down, you definitely start Braelon Allen, bro, says D-Town. And again, just so everybody knows, there's no news on Brees Hall being injured. There's only the evidence we have of him, and well, there is evidence. The evidence is that he retweaked his knee in the game, but there's no new update on it that, oh yeah, he is actually struggling with it still. We just haven't had an update. But this is the kind of thing that creeps up on you with a team that's losing, that's already talking about not bringing Aaron Rodgers back. They clearly have nothing to play for. There is no talk, Ethan. This is what I keep saying over and over and over. But maybe you're just getting here. Is there talk about Brees being shut down? There's zero talk about anything. This is all speculation on my part, admittedly, but watching him retweak his knee and leave the field and hobble down the sideline makes me think they will be very cautious with him at the end of the season here. So whether it's him sitting this week, even if he plays this week and he plays next week, there's still some chance that we're talking about Braelon Allen the same way we're talking about Guerendo today, and it's a preemptive maneuver to go grab him, get him, Braelon Allen, and put him on your bench. That's what this is about. That's why there's a question mark next to Breece Hall. There's nothing that's come out of his retweaking of his knee news-wise yet. Start Mooney or BT. Probably Mooney because BT doesn't have his QB. Thank you for the super chat, my boy. Asan, thank you for your super chat, my guy. Second place, 9-4, highest scoring team. JD5, Chase, Waddle, Reed, Worthy, Vele, JT, Gibbs, Chase Brown, Warren, Braelon Allen, Dowdle, Kincaid, Jonu. I'm picking up Russ for the bye. Drop Worthy, Vele, or Hunt for Guerendo. If I had to pick one, I would probably say drop either Worthy or Vele. Keep Hunt just because you never know. Pacheco could suffer some sort of relapse, re-injury, whatever. I'd rather just kind of keep that RB, and he still might get enough usage that, in an injury situation or the bye-mageddon next week, whatever, not looking at your bye weeks to figure that out. But I do think that I would rather have that RB. But yes, you have to get Guerendo. You have to get Guerendo. You have to do it live. Yeah. Yes, sir. Wish I had information on Breece Hall too. I wish I did. I wish there was something to go on, and there's not. In some ways, this is what makes, I think, this show special, is that we dig in and try and predict what's going to happen, and that sometimes leads to misses. Like in here, who is it running his mouth over and over? Kingslayer, whatever his name is. Keep saying, take your lap on Worthy, take your lap on Worthy. Sometimes we're going to miss when we get ahead of the curve and get bowled up in this mug. Like, what do you want? You want me to take a lap? I'm not going to take a lap for nothing. Not for you. Go get me a coffee, Kingslayer. How's that? I'm not taking a lap for no one, bro. I'll take a lap when I feel I'm deemed is needed, when I know that I messed up. I've taken a lap on things like I should have been higher on Joe Mixon. I admit it. I've taken a lap on that 100 times. We're not going to hit everything. We're not. We're just not. And if you want that, then, go somewhere else if you think you're going to find someone that's going to get you 100% accuracy on bold predictions. We're not talking about 50-50 calls. Sometimes we're doing crazy stuff up in here. And so, some of you need to readjust your attitude as to like how you expect when you come in here, you expect like somebody to be, I don't know, like begging for forgiveness for being wrong on Worthy. Like, what do you want? And for Breece Hall, we are predicting here. He could, like I said, and I've said it 1,000 times over, he could play the rest of the season. He could play very well. He could play very bad. We don't know. He could play the rest of the season, and I hope he does. I have him in a ton of leagues. But if he doesn't, Braelon Allen's going to explode because they're going to test the rookie and see how much tread, he's got on his tires and how good he does and how productive he is. What do they have? Do they have maybe? And again, as I said weeks ago, they might very well, if Braelon Allen goes nuts, this might be a tryout for the next head coach that comes in to say, give me that Sonic and Knuckles situation. If I've got Breece Hall and Braelon Allen and I'm the head coach of the Jets, I'm running both of them as much as Detroit runs Monty and Gibbs, and I'm doing it the same exact way. And so let's say Ben Johnson, who's the architect over in Detroit, takes this New York Jets job. I don't know that he would because there's no quarterback, but maybe he does. Maybe he takes it. He could turn this into a a Thunder and Lightning, a Sonic and Knuckles, a Monty and Gibbs situation. So this is going to be a very, very, very important couple weeks here for Braelon Allen, if Braelon Allen does get any sort of long run, extended run. Oh, I'm fine, Mark. I always ignore the haters, but I definitely don't, they think I don't see them, K9 or Shakir, they don't last long in here anyway. After somebody hates for so long, they end up getting booted. Tillman, I don't know what I expect out of Tillman. K9 or Shakir at the flex, probably K9 still, even though it's very, very hard to know what's coming out of that running back rotation, or not even rotation, just running back situation. Waddle or Addison, I'd probably start. Guys, what do you think, Waddle or Addison? In a vacuum, probably Waddle by a hair. Addison. A lot of Addison votes. Mike, you're live, my boy. What can I do for you, Mike?
What's going on, brother?
What can I do for you?
I had a question about if I pick up Guerendo, should I start him at flex? I have a couple guys.
Spit it out, Mike.
Right now. Sorry.
Spit it out, Mike.
Sorry. I've got Ladd McConkey.
Okay.
Jackson Smith-Njigba. BTJ. Tyrone Tracy.
Okay, let's. Who are you trying to swap one of these guys out for Guerendo?
Yeah.
Okay, so put BT on the bench for sure. I mean, you could keep reading them, but read them a little faster if you can. And if you like BT, would I cut BT? I'd try not to, but you got to take Guerendo. Guerendo's better than BT right now. BT's got no quarterback. He doesn't have his quarterback. Although I will say it does look like he's going to be decent. So that's why I don't want to cut him. He could be decent. He ended up doing better once Trevor Lawrence was out of the game, actually. But in general, him and Trevor Lawrence have been balling, But I don't know that I can count.
Drop CJ Stroud to pick up Guerendo.
Okay, yes, and put Guerendo straight into your lineup. But read them off real quickly again, and I'll tell you which one. But it's probably BT. Go ahead.
I got McConkey.
Okay, you're leaving him in. Okay, leave him in.
Over Guerendo.
Leave those guys.
Let me just tell you, I'm starting A-Chain and Gibbs at running back.
Okay.
And I'm starting A.J. Brown and T. Higgins at wide receiver.
Okay.
So I got one flex spot.
Okay.
And I got all these other guys that I have no clue.
Yeah. So JSN.
And now Guerendo's getting thrown into the mix.
Yeah, Guerendo for me.
Guerendo overall.
Over JSN, Ladd McConkey's it's close. I mean, he could be really solid, obviously, but I think Guerendo for right now.
All right,
bro. Appreciate you.
All right, I appreciate it, bro.
Later. All right, BTJ was wide receiver 13. Bro, BTJ was a beast. BTJ is a monster. It's kind of sucks he's in that situation. Trevor Lawrence has continued to fail, and we could say, it's not his fault he got laid out the way he did. I understand that, but I just don't know if I hope he gets consistency, because BTJ is going to be hard. Think of DJ Moore's early development in Carolina. Think of McLaurin in Washington prior to JD5. What we predicted out of McLaurin to happen happened. Because he finally got. So I just feel like I hope BTJ doesn't sit there and kind of like simmer and never really fully turn into what he could turn into. Am forced to play 2 of these 3 running backs. Tell me who you like: Chuba, Brees, ETN. I'm playing Brees and Chuba as long as Brees is playing. I'm not putting ETN in over Brees Hall, so that's as clear as day. There's nothing you're overthinking there. Coach Gump.
What's up, Smitty? What's going on, brother?
What's up? What can I do for you?
I'm walking rainbows over here. Bucky got me into the playoffs.
Attaboy.
Yeah, he got me there. But now, my tight end went down, Taysom Hill. Now, who do I pick? Do I go back to Disley? Do I go to Friar Tuck? Or some people call him Friar Moon? Or who do I grab?
Disley.
Disley.
Yeah, he's been consistent.
Over Friar Tuck?
Well, is that what I just said?
Yeah, that's what you said. That's
Okay.
what you said, brother.
Okay, well, just making sure. You want me to repeat everything? Twice? Yes.
All
yes.
right.
What else you got?
All right. Oh, now I'm just happy as I'm in the playoffs. But, the problem is doggone Ridley. What in the heck's going on with Ridley?
I mean, he's an inconsistent player in general. Like, unfortunately, right now, that's just who he has been the last couple of years, right? Or he's even inconsistent in terms of, like, his desire to play football. And all, like, he's been inconsistent. That's just been Ridley. But, like, he also plays for a team that isn't going to be reliable, bro, in a lot of ways. So, like, I don't know what you're expecting. He's the kind of player you just leave in, and you're hoping he does well. And if you take him out, he's going to pop off. If you put him in, he's going to probably not pop off because you're playing, you're trying to chase the points. But he's not
When Rudolph's in there, the red-nosed reindeer, he gets all the targets.
Well, I don't know. What other option do you have?
Well, I do have Marv, and I do have Malik.
Marv?
I got MHJ, you know what I'm talking about? And I got Malik.
And Neighbors? Oh, well, that's much better than Ridley. I'd probably go...
Okay, all right.
I mean, look, chat, would you rather go Neighbors or Marv? I asked that only because I don't really know that there's like a secure, easy answer anymore with that.
I gotta go both.
Oh, you can go both? Oh, but who... But what I was saying was, who's your option over Ridley? And you said Marv and Neighbors.
And
Gump.
it.
I don't think you...
I got Cedric Tillman on the out.
All right.
Do I go after whatever that guy's name that's taking all the balls from Ridley?
What guy? Oh, Akine? Yes.
Oh,
yeah, go get Akine for sure.
How about our good old boy that plays for the Panthers, Thielen?
Yeah, you need candy? Okay. I'll come out 1 second and get
Which
you
one
candy.
you like better? Which one you like better?
Say it again. Akine and who?
And Thielen.
Akine. Akine's been balling out, bro. All right. Hey, gotta go, Gump. Appreciate you.
All right, brother.
Later.
All right.
I don't know what it is about Gump sometimes. Cap, go ahead, Cap. You're live.
Hey, bro, listen, man, and I can't believe I'm even saying these words off the waiver, but, it's pretty much fighting for the bye week. So it's Brandon Cooks off the waiver, or either Michael Wilson off the waiver, or Trey Tucker. I got to play a receiver. I'm hoping that Devonta Smith plays. If he does, I'll slide him right in, but...
Can you grab
those three names I just named.
Is this a wide receiver only or a flex spot? Can you swap someone out and make it a flex spot?
Well, at the flex spot, I was going to ask you, I got Vidal and Disley to put in the flex spot.
Okay.
One of those receivers, what do you think?
What I was trying to ask you is you can't make it a tight end or something? It's got to be a receiver.
At the flex, I could put the tight end, not the receiver here.
Okay. I was going to say, because if so, like, you could go after Gray or something like that, KC. And there's no way to move.
He's available.
Yeah, but there's no way to move the lineup around so that it fixes this problem, is what I'm asking.
Yeah, nah.
I don't know. Those are tough. Akine's obviously not available.
Nah.
List your options one more time, and then chat. Can we vote on those?
Well, like I said, I'm in third place fighting for the bye. It's Guerendo, which I don't think I'm going to get. Brandon Cooks, Michael Wilson, Trey Tucker, and then Disley and Vidal.
What about Mims?
I just dropped Vele.
I almost like Vele more. What about Mims? As I just said.
But I mean, they're both on a bye week.
Oh, you need for you just for this week. You don't need it at all. Okay.
Nah, yeah.
Damn, man. I mean, who are the best other options available?
It's slim pickings. It's a 14 team.
I don't know, man. I guess Wilson. I don't know. Cooks is okay, but I mean, they're already talking about
flex spot top 5: Guerendo, Sterling Shepard, Cooks, Tucker, Washington, and Wilson.
What do you guys think? Probably say.
I'm looking at Slayton, but damn, that's a grade there too.
Yeah, what do you guys think? I mean, we got one Wilson vote, one Cooks vote, one Cooks is healthy. Cooks, I don't know, man. I guess I would go. What did Wilson do last week? Hold on, let me pull it up.
They're pretty good.
He seems to keep getting targets, which is nice. And he's a good player.
And it's Seattle at home.
Yeah. Yeah, last week, I mean, 7 targets, man. I'd probably just go Wilson. There's 7 targets, 4 targets back-to-back games, 4 targets the week before that. I mean, that's good enough.
I agree. I just wanted to hear from you. I agree.
All right, man. Later.
Easy.
Yeah, I don't know. TP, appreciate your super chat, my boy. Coming in strong. I got another one right here from 83. This one here is get Guerendo if I only have one running back, 2 flex. I have Monty, Achane, Bijan, who currently live in those slots, Ferguson, Schultz, or Kincaid for the playoffs. Even if it's just to block the other opponents, bro, you have to grab Guerendo. But yes, you get him anyway because you might be starting him over. I mean, he might be starting over one of these guys. Matchups, all that, I mean, will play into effect. Like Guerendo and Monty, Guerendo and Achane, Guerendo, probably not Bijan, but Guerendo and Achane, Guerendo and Monty, like there is a chance you're weighing all that out each week. Yeah. And Ferguson, Schultz, or Kincaid for the playoffs. I guess Schultz for now, but I mean, that could change. And would you drop T-Law at this point in a super flex? Yeah. I mean, I would IR spot him, I guess. It also depends on what kind of league is this. Is this a redraft league? AOC and Mac Jones are out there. I mean, AOC is a better pickup than T-Law right now anyway, yeah. Kind of like AOC's matchup this week. I have May. Okay, yeah, I agree with that, Tex. Go ahead and make the move. But try and, IR spot him. Again, I'm not sure if that's a keeper league or anything like that. Rock out, what's up?
Yeah, we're playing Tua or Purdy this week.
Tua or Purdy? Oh, man. That's tough.
Yeah, I got bone.
Yeah. Chat, what do you think? Tua or Purdy this week if you rock out? That is a tough one, my boy.
And would you pick up
Ferguson or Juwan Johnson or Gray and drop either Pitts or Disley?
I guess Gray over Pitts is a thought. I think the chat might agree with that, but I don't know. It's hard to make that move, but Tua, straight down the board. Yeah, I mean, look, San Francisco, Chicago's got a pretty decent D. You know, they're more than decent, but I'm sure they're tired. I like that defensive matchup in a small way. So I think that at the end of the day, Tua at home, you know, the Jets are, I don't know, they're kind of a mess, man. I'll probably go with the Miami Dolphins producing a whole lot more points, you know.
And would you drop either Disley or Pitts?
I'm not dropping Disley over Pitts, but it's hard to drop Pitts, but I think, you know, it's not that crazy. I mean, he scored 0 last week. It was insane.
They both.
Huh?
Both did. They both scored.
Yeah. Probably Pitts, but you know, could he bounce back with Penix Jr.? He could, but I mean, I don't know. It's kind of a woulda, shoulda, coulda game or what if game. Yeah, people are saying drop Pitts, I guess. Guys, drop. I'm sorry, you're picking up who again? It's Gray.
I could get Gray. Ferguson or Juwan Johnson
You guys-
or the Carolina tight end.
You guys like Gray or Pitts moving forward? I mean, Gray's been playing, man. He's been balling. I would rather have Gray if push came to shove. You know, holding on to names. 4 weeks left. I don't know. I mean, Gray's been producing. But could he do nothing for the next 4 weeks? Yeah, it's possible. But I'd rather have Gray. We got a Johnson vote, a Gray vote, a Pitts vote, a Gray vote, a Gray vote, a Gray vote, a Gray it is. All right, my boy. I'll catch you later. Appreciate you. All right. May or may not be back tonight. Appreciate everybody being here. I'm still a little bit under the weather, so that's why we're not going like extremely long, but this could have me coming back to do another show, though. You know, I might be rejuvenated and potentially back. I don't know. Appreciate all of you. Thank you for your super chats. Thank you for being here. You guys absolutely rock. Pick up Guerendo. Pick up Braelon Allen. Here's your waiver wire. One more time. Screenshot that. Pause it. Whatever you got to do. Make sure you've got your list ready to go. Your players submitted. And these will process. Waivers will process probably. Actually, I think McLaughlin, we need to move up a little bit. Waivers should process, you know, midnight, right? Your time. So make sure you get your picks in. Appreciate you all. Don't forget, I'm live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Every single Monday through Friday. I'm also additionally live whenever big news breaks. I'm live a lot of midnights. And you could find, don't forget, you could find all the written content over at thefantasyfootballshow.com. Go check it out. Get a lifetime membership. 2025 is going to be huge because I'm going to divide the site into redraft and dynasty sections. So it'll be very easy to navigate. It's going to be fantastic. You're going to love it. So thefantasyfootballshow.com. Don't forget to get on over to the Patreon. The Patreon is where we have a live chat, 365, 24/7. It's $10 a month. Cancel anytime. So just do it for the last month and see. It's a cup of coffee. And you can find that in the links in the description of the video. Patreon.com/thefantasyfootballshow. Links also, I think, pinned in the live chat right now. But yeah, it's a great place to hang out. It's basically this YouTube chat you see helping right now over on those people, same names, over on the Patreon community, just chatting away. All right, I'll see you all later. I'll leave you with the Guerendo video. Appreciate you.
Well, no going back now. You sure you want to do this, Kyle? Yeah. We have to. Let's go. Start the procedure.
Yeah, John, look at that. Yeah, that looks great, Kyle. Look at him.
Guerendonites, unite!
Live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, live whenever big news breaks. See you all potentially later if your boy's feeling decent.